Well, I'm Tom Taylor, Head of International Economics at NAB. Brexit is a vote that's coming on Thursday as to whether or not the UK should remain in the European Union. Now, the UK has been in there since 1973. Its membership has been a cornerstone of successive British governments, and over that period of time the British economy has become very closely integrated into Europe. So it's a historic vote. It's going to have a major impact for the future of Britain's economy. Consensus view is if the UK leaves the EU, it will have a damaging effect on the British economy. People will end up poorer and the economy will be smaller. The UK will face difficulties because it will have to renegotiate its international agreements with the EU that determine the access for 1/8 of everything produced in the UK, and there's more than 3 million jobs at stake. So this is actually a very significant impact on the UK if it were to leave economically. Although Brexit's meant to have negative impacts on the UK economy, the poll is still too close to call with a lot of support for leaving the EU. And that's because the vote's about much more than the economy. It's also about national sovereignty and immigration. And if Britain were to leave the EU, that would lead to an increase in uncertainty and volatility in the markets. We would see a large depreciation in sterling. That would be followed by a downturn in the value of the euro, and it would probably affect currencies like the Aussie and Kiwi dollars as well. Interest rates would probably also rise, and so overall it would hit the world economy, which is having a soft spot at a time it really doesn't need another shock. Australia is one of the best placed economies in the world to cope with the fallout from Brexit. We've reintegrated our trade much more towards the Asia-Pacific region rather than the UK. Now the UK buys less than 3% of Australian exports, so it's really not going to have a huge impact in terms of direct trade consequences. Well, we'll know by Friday afternoon Australian time what the outcome is, and the outcome will be followed with keen interest by us in NAB and also by many of our customers. The vote is too close to call. There's still a good chance that the majority of British people will vote to stay in the EU, but time will tell.